Right, welcome ladies and gentlemen. So Lord of the Rings of Power on Prime is moving ahead. Of course it is. And with it, we're getting a new promo image, or promo trailer, should I say, where they're like, oh, Sauron's returning, we knew him by many names, we knew him as Sauron, blah blah blah. Evil doesn't wait, evil doesn't sleep, it waits, blah blah blah. They're really like hyping it up. Now, a lot of people will remember the real slim, shady Sauron. What people assumed was Sauron. I've done some digging actually, and I think it's quite interesting is that the sort of primary images of what we assumed to be Sauron is now being speculated to be a bit of a misdirect, and that it's not going to be Sauron. But there's the possibility it's still going to be Sauron as well, because that's, you know, that's just Amazon, isn't it? Really, that's just mainstream studios through and through. They're like, oh, we're misdirecting, it's not Sauron, and it turns out to be anyway. It's like, okay, fine, sure, whatever. So I thought we would take a look at it, because of course, you know, it's fascinating stuff, and I mean, it's just utterly garbage, isn't it? And it's always worth a good time and a good laugh. So a lot of people thought that this was Sauron, effectively, right? And I mean, this really, you know, quite confused me, to be honest, primarily because, well, they got tits. It's a bit odd. But this is the image of the figure that we think to be Sauron, right? This is what people are assuming to be Sauron. It turns out it's probably a priestess from the cult of Morgoth. So I thought we would take a look at this, because I think this is interesting. And I guess really the discussion is like, oh, well, maybe these will still end up being Sauron anyway. So the new promo, it's not actually that good, to be fair. Didn't really get much from it. It's all, it still feels really wishy-washy, this whole series, but have a watch of this. Well, it'd help if you guys had sound, wouldn't it? Ah, dear, oh dear. Bloody stupid. Here we go.
The enemy does not sleep. He waits. A dark and cunning sorcerer. He has not one name, but many. We knew him as Sauron.
Not feeling it. I'm not feeling it at all, ladies and gents. Genuinely not. Now, a lot of people are like, well, maybe this is Sauron. He's got the black armor, wading through orcs, you know, oh, maybe. And I agree. I do actually agree with that. I think that there's a potential that is probably going to be Sauron. But it turns out, like, you know, we're well, this article, I think, is rather assumptive. So, SDCC trailer seemingly revealed that the demonic villain, played by Bridi Sisson, will take on his fair Anatar form when the show begins. Apparently we will see the Anatar form, but there's articles like this that says the Rings of Power exclusive producer says fan theories about Sauron are wrong, but they didn't really. So, again, this is this weird misdirect whilst also not actually misdirecting. And this is why I think that they think they're being really smart. So, you know, it starts here saying, oh, well, the executive producer says that popular fan theories about Sauron and the actor who portrays the villain are wrong. But they didn't really say that. So, you know, we have, again, all of these, again, this is, you know, they, them, Sauron and all that nonsense. But it says here, you know, while reporting my recent cover story for Time about the Rings of Power, Weber exclusively shared that the actor in that trailer has been misidentified. The mysterious person is played by Bridi Sisson, who previously starred in Netflix's Cowboy Bebop. Oh yeah, dear oh dear. And while Weber would not confirm the name of Sisson's actor, she did offer a tantalising hint about her origins. She was played by a woman. So, like, why would you make a woman look like this, for goodness sake? But secondly, she didn't really say, oh no, that's definitely misidentified. We are enjoying all the speculation online and can tell you Bridie Sisson is an incredible actor, Webber said. We also thought fans might like to know that her character is travelling from far to the east from the lands of Rune. That's not saying absolutely no, is it? Like, not at all, in fact. Because those that know about Tolkien and Sauron, Rune was home to the people called Easterlings in the Second and Third Ages, and Rune was also where Sauron sort of hung around and consolidated his power. And soldiers from Rune would fight alongside orcs and other men in his armies against the men of the West. So it's not a complete nah. It's definitely not. But then we get even more interesting things. So this is Lord of the Rings on Prime, and this is like, I think this is an interesting one to take a look at, right? These are people from the cult of Melkor sent by Sauron. This is all speculation. So if they're cultists, if they are, I mean, they'd have to be a wizard of some description. They're using magic. She is using magic right there. But if they completely do a gender flip, again, I won't put it past them that they do a gender flip. This is just Amazon Prime through and through being absolute garbage. And they're like, oh yeah, Bridie or Birdie or whatever her name is, Sisson is, oh, she's actually Anatar. And then, you know, shapeshifts into Sauron. It's like, oh, there you go. So somehow Sauron walks around with a vagine, I guess. I wouldn't put it past them. But, I mean, what an absolute pile of nonsense. It fascinating to me that this is actually a woman. That's outrageous. But I guess the telltale sign is the fact that there's a few of them. So, yeah, could be a priestess, could be a cultist. But then we start seeing them, this one in particular, do a lot of things. So there's nothing to say that this isn't Sauron disguising themselves and sort of walking along. And people are like, yeah, but definitely not Sauron himself. Oh, I just would not put it past them. I wouldn't put it past them. Not on your life would I put it past them. What is this? Goodness me. It just looks like, it looks cheap. It genuinely just looks cheap. Again, if you cast your mind back to the armory that they had in Peter Jackson stuff, look at this. Look at this. Look how cheap that looks. Like, that looks awful. Doesn't look like it's made of actual metal. I remember watching some of the behind the scenes stuff for Lord of the Rings. You know, it was actual chainmail and stuff that they were wearing. Like, it's really heavy things. So interesting things. Like, I still think this show's going to be utter garbage. Like, absolute trash. But we do know, and this is why I think that I wouldn't put it past Amazon Prime, and this is why I'm not saying that, you know, the speculation that everyone is wrong or completely right either, because we do know that we're going to be seeing Anatar, and Sauron is disguised as the Anatar form, because he's trying to trick the elves and Celebrimbor into forging the rings. And then going to continuously shapeshift throughout the course of the show, which is probably why we see, you know, this black-clad, armoured dude strolling through here. But again, that's probably a misdirect as well. But I just don't think Amazon is that intelligent to have this down like that. No one's confirmed, actually, that they are not Sauron. They've just said, oh, well, you know, maybe misidentified. I can't tell you who it actually is, though. I mean, if they're trying to do wordplay here, and people are like, well, that's Sauron, and you know, the executive producer's like, well, no, actually, ha 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 ha, it's Anatar, ha, lol, gotcha. I can believe that, but it's just another, I don't know, not good thing to watch, unfortunately. I mean, hopefully this is going to be good, but I can't imagine it's going to be. And you know what? We're desperately starved of good content. I want something good to watch. So I don't want this to be bad. I want this to actually be good. I just can't imagine it's going to be. Now, there's going to be 2 episodes releasing soon-ish. So I will obviously watch them and review them. I think they're like a week away or something like that. So let me know what you guys think of this down below. Do you think this is Sauron? Do you think that Amazon are smart enough to be able to do this whole misdirecting thing, or they're just going to go, misdirect on the misdirect? You're right, it's Sauron, because that's where I think it's going to go, or at least something similar to that anyway. But cheers, guys. Enjoy your Monday. Take care. Also, ladies and gentlemen, consider checking out my Teespring store. Supporting the channel via this way does go a long way. But also, not only that, you do get to wear some awesome merch. These are one-of-a-kind designs designed for me by my graphic designer. We, of course, have our Clown World line, which is in mugs, hoodies, t-shirts. We've got Space Jeebus. And then for something a little bit different, we, of course, have right down at the bottom right here, we have our Pulsar GTIR. Also, ladies and gentlemen, consider checking out and supporting my second channel, which is Car Nonsense. This is a vlog and car channel. You can find links to this in the description box, along with my Teespring. Please do consider supporting.